Hello, gang. I've been telling some monster stories, and this is maybe my favourite. Once upon a time, there was a village. There was a river that ran through the middle of the village, and the people of the village went across a bridge from one side to the other to visit their friends and visit their families, to go to work, all kinds of stuff. But one day, one morning, when they arrived across the bridge, there sitting in the middle was a great big monster. He was enormous, with great big horns, great big claws and great big jaws. No one crosses this bridge. Everyone was terrified. And what could they do? Now they couldn't get from one side of the bridge to the other. They couldn't see their friends, they couldn't see their family. Off they went to the king to ask for help. Said the king. Well, this will be easily solved. I will send for the Master of Swords. And so the Master of Swords was sent for. The Master of Swords nodded. I will chase off this monster. So the Master of Swords went to the bridge. And the monster looked down and said, Who are you? And the Master of Swords said, I am the Master of Swords. And shing! He drew his mighty sword. But the monster just laughed. Ho, 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 ho. Call that a sword? This is a sword. And the monster pulled out from his belt the most enormous sword you have ever seen. The Master of Swords dropped his sword and ran screaming. The king was not pleased. Ha! I will send for the Master of Spears. And so the Master of Spears arrived. The Master of Spears arrived and lifted up his enormous spear and held it towards the monster. Who are you? Said the monster. I am the Master of Spears, and I'm here to drive you off this bridge. Ha ha ha, laughed the monster. Call that a spear? This is a spear. And he lifted an enormous spear the size of an oak tree. With that, the Master of Spears dropped his spear and ran. The king was not happy. Send for the Master of Clubs. The Master of Clubs arrived and lifted two great battle clubs into the air. The monster looked down. Ho, 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 what are those? These are my war clubs, and I am the Master of Clubs, and I will drive you from this bridge, he bellowed. Ha, 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 laughed the monster. Call those clubs. These are clubs. The monster, he brandished the two most enormous clubs that you could imagine. And with that, the Master of Clubs dropped his, and he ran as fast as he could. And the people were despairing, for there was no way to be rid of the monster, until a little girl stepped forward. I will go and get rid of this monster. Ha! If the Master of Swords and the Master of Spears and the Master of Clubs couldn't get rid of the monster, how could you, little girl? Because I, she said, am the Master of Picnics. Master of Picnics? Off she went to the bridge. She had a picnic basket with her. The monster looked down. Ha! Who are you? He bellowed. I'm the Master of Picnics, said the little girl. And she opened the basket. And she took out a picnic rug and laid it down. And onto that, she put out sandwiches. And she put out scones. And she put out 2 cups and poured some juice. And all other kinds of delicious goodies. Some cake. Whoa, said the monster. Ha ha ha, call that a picnic. Watch this. The monster picked up the most enormous picnic basket and opened it and lay out a cloth. And onto it placed enormous cakes and piles of cookies and sandwiches and all delicious kinds of things to eat and drink. That is a wonderful picnic, said the little girl. Well, perhaps we should eat, said the monster. Perhaps we should, said the little girl. So the little girl and the monster sat down And they shared the picnic, and they told stories and sang songs, and they had a wonderful time. And after that, the monster, well, he became the most helpful friend to the people of the village. If people were carrying a heavy load across a bridge, why, he always offered to carry it for them. In fact, sometimes he would pick up the people and take them where they wanted to go. And every day, the little girl, the master of picnics, would come and visit her friend the monster, and they would share a picnic together. And that is the end of the story.